What's going on, fellas? I've got a 2003 Dodge Ram 1500, and I'm using this truck to point out to you the location of the AC compressor fuse, the AC compressor relay, and also the AC condenser fan fuse and relay. I'll also go over the wiring, and I'll discuss a few reasons why the AC on your truck might not be working. So to start with, we're going to go and unscrew this and yank it out. As far as the fuses go, I'll show you those first. Fuse 18 is a 10 amp fuse located right here. It provides power for the AC compressor clutch. Fuse number 12 is a 30 amp J-case fuse. It's located right here. And its role is to provide power for the AC compressor, for the AC condenser fan, which is right here. The relays are as follows. This is your AC compressor clutch relay. When this relay energizes, it should result in your AC compressor clutch engaging. This is your AC fan relay. When it energizes, it should result in this fan kicking on. And both of these should be turning on and off together. Now, I like to tap on relays as a troubleshooting step. Sometimes relays can get stuck and tapping on the relay will free it up. If that doesn't work, I remove the relay and I swap it with a different relay. So for example, for the AC compressor clutch relay, you could swap in maybe your fog light relay if you've got fog lights, or you could swap in maybe your wiper relay. For the fan relay, you could swap in your parking light relay. And if your parking lights stop working, but then your fan kicks on, then you know the relay is probably the issue. Now, how will you know if you need to look into these relays? So if your AC compressor clutch is not engaging, then what that means is when the engine is on, you'll see the belt turning, but you will not see the front of the compressor turning over. If you do see the front of this turning over, then it means that the AC clutch is engaging, and it means that your relay and your fuse for your AC compressor is fine. If you do not see this fan turning, then you'll want to investigate if the relay and fuse is good for the AC condenser fan. Now let's talk a little more in depth about the wiring. You can see I've got these pins color coded. I'll start first with the AC relay. It receives its power from the 10 amp fuse, and you should see constant voltage at this pin right here. When this relay is energized, which it's controlled by the powertrain control module, it takes the power from this pin and it sends it into this pin, which goes on to the AC compressor clutch. You can provide your own power at this pin, and it should result in your AC clutch engaging. Be careful when doing this. You can cause damage to the system if it's undercharged of Freon or overcharged, or if your engine is overheating. There's a couple of things that can go wrong. So it's not a permanent fix to send power here. It's just a quick troubleshooting step. You should be receiving power at this pin as well. The power comes from an internal circuit breaker, and the computer provides a ground here when it wants the compressor to engage. With the condenser fan, similar setup. You're receiving power from the fan fuse at both of these red pins. The computer will send a ground at this pin when it wants the fan to come on, and when the relay is energized by receiving the ground here, it sends power into this pin, which goes to the fan. You can provide your own power to this pin to manually power this fan right here. Now let's take a look at the AC compressor clutch. How do I know if this is receiving power or not? Let's say you've changed your fuse and your relay and you're still having issues. You want to know if it's receiving power. So you can disconnect it by removing this little red pin thing here. So remove this and set it aside. After you pop that out, you can disconnect this here, and you should be measuring 12 volts across these pins. So hook up your voltmeter to each of these pins, and you should be measuring voltage here when the AC relay is engaged. If you are getting voltage here, but when you hook this up, the compressor clutch does not engage, then you may have a bad clutch. You can also provide your own power into the power and a ground at these pins, and it should manually engage this compressor. Now, there are a few reasons why the computer will not request the AC turn on, even if you're hitting the AC button on your control. It uses a pressure sensor here to detect if it has too much pressure or too little pressure. And a malfunctioning switch or an over or undercharged system can cause that. You can check the level of Freon by hooking up to your low side port here, and you can actually add Freon into this port as well. This is your high side port here. There's also a temperature sensor inside the dash at the AC evaporator core. And if that temperature sensor is not reading correctly, let's say it's reading too low, then it can fool the computer into thinking that you don't need the AC because it's already cold enough. Also, there's certain check engine light codes that can cause the AC to be disabled. So if your check engine light is on, you'll want to investigate that as well. So yeah, I hope this information was helpful for you. Please let me know if you have any questions, or more importantly, if you have any advice for troubleshooting the air conditioning on your Dodge Ram.